I think 2 days probably would have done it for the most part. But one day I feel like there was some stuff we left on the table. I feel like we got a good feel for both of the parks.
Yes.
But we could have definitely spent more time. Welcome to this
This place is no Paris, but I can work with it.
episode of the Mazas Musings podcast. And no, it's not Paris, Remy, but we certainly can work with it because we are talking about Disneyland Paris today. So we're taking a little detour on our little magical mystery tour through Europe, where Eileen, Meghan, and I traveled to Paris and then to Ireland, and we shared our Paris adventures with you. But before we jump over to Ireland, we are going to tell you about the day we spent at the Disneyland Paris parks. We hit 2 parks. It was really a whirlwind day, but it was a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of things to share with you about our experiences and our impressions. So we're really excited to share that with you. But before we do that, Meghan, of course, has to get us started by sharing her Cuckoo Bananas Joke of the Week.
And now it's time for Meghan's
Cuckoo Bananas Joke.
Hey, you started it again without me.
Too fun.
Alrighty. Well, do you have a joke for us?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
What do you call a snowman with no arms?
I don't know. What do you call a snowman with no arms?
A snowman with no arms.
And where did you hear that one?
In
Disneyland Paris. Do you remember who told you that joke? Oaken.
Oh.
Woohoo! Big summer blowout.
What does big summer blowout mean?
It means that there's a big sale in the middle of summer. Anyway, we'll be talking a lot more about that in the main part of this episode, right?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'll see you in like 5 minutes.
All right. Well, now that we've had a laugh, here comes Maz's Mickey Minute, where I have a little bit of advice, but really it's much more I'm pleading with you parents.
Donald, wake up! It's showtime! Don't forget the orchestra!
Ah, there you are. And just in time.
Mom says there's even more magical stuff now.
For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. And here we go!
Okay, so to steal something from the Dapper Manatee, who, if you're not following on TikTok, I very much recommend that you do, story time from Disney. All right, so we are at Disneyland Paris, and I'm telling this story kind of like as a cautionary tale, and basically also just an appeal to parents to please be responsible for your children. You will have a better time. We will have a better time. The cast members will have a better time. Anyway, I'll just get into it. So, while we were at Disneyland Paris, we were standing in line waiting to meet Mickey Mouse. Of course, you have to meet Mickey, and we're in Paris, so we had to meet Parisian Mickey. So we are there in the line, and it was a lengthy line. Mickey was taking his time and making sure that every guest got their money's worth, so to speak. And as we are in the line, there was a family that was in front of us. And the family had a little girl who was, I'm terrible at guessing ages, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 6, maybe 7. She was younger than Meghan. And she had a little brother, too, who was, 4 or 5, maybe. And these kids were just running around like crazy. And really unchecked by the parents. Now, I don't know exactly what There were times when the parents were speaking to the children were speaking back to the parents. They weren't speaking English. They weren't speaking French. I get the impression that it was probably Portuguese or Italian, something. It was a language that I am not overly familiar with, but it had some tones that made me think maybe it was somewhere in that region. Anyway, so getting into it, these kids are running around and there is a queue, and this queue is a serpentine that is basically everybody's being separated by ropes. Not something that is all that uncommon, either at Disney or anywhere else in the world. This little girl is running around. She's not paying attention, and she catches her neck on the rope. She was at a full run and caught her neck on the rope. And I did not see her actually catch her neck, but I heard the sound that she made and turned to see her legs like swing up in the air and like she landed like flat on her back. Kind of like cartoon style, how you imagine something like that. And she ended up, it was serious. Like she had pretty seriously hurt herself, it seemed like. So, one of the parents collected her, and cast members got involved. And of course, they ended up calling over somebody from emergency services to take a look at her and everything like that. And of course, the cast members are doing their due diligence and they're, filling out reports and things like that. Somebody's there with a clipboard. And I'm watching this interaction. It's clearly, there's obviously a gap in the language. There's a language barrier. So we've got the people who are speaking one language, the family. We have a cast member who is speaking with them and then trying to translate to another cast member who appeared to be the supervisor or whoever was taking care of this situation. And there are some other cast members that were involved in this too. And Eileen was the one who actually kind of noticed this, but it became clear that, and you didn't need to speak the language to understand that they were trying to get something out of this. And it got to the point where they were almost kind of berating the cast members. So first of all, your kid was running around like an idiot and got hurt. This wasn't like a gate wasn't secured the right way and it swung open and hit somebody, or there was even like a crack in the sidewalk that should have been marked or something like that, and somebody tripped over it and got hurt. Your kid did something that got themselves hurt. And by the way, the other kid is still over there running around like an idiot. Now, I'm not one of these people who's like, the kid's got to stand right here the whole time and be completely silent, etc. Meghan was not near us the entire time. There was a period of time where she was sitting on a wall. She was watching what was going on. This is a new place for her. She wanted to see it. And we're fine as long as we could see her, she could see us, we could hear her, and she could hear us. And there were some times where, we had to say, hey, don't sit like that. Get off of that. We need to be safe. So it's not like, we're completely inflexible with this kind of stuff. But the more and more as this went on, these people were just, expecting something for what was ultimately their own making. And to placate them, the Disney cast members decided that, okay, they can cut the line. They are going to go. And so they got into Disneyland Paris has their own version of like the DAS system, whatever it is, the disability system, where you can kind of like check in, get a time, and then you come back later so you don't have to wait. So they got to go into that area and got to basically cut the line and meet Mickey before everybody else who had been standing there with their kids who were not running around like idiots and getting themselves hurt. And of course, there were also like 10 of these people, and they all had to have their individual pictures with Mickey. And they all had like these separate little groups that needed to get their pictures with Mickey. And so these were people that were going to be in front of me and Meghan and Eileen anyway. But just the fact that they got to get some kind of benefit out of something that they did incorrectly, that every other family in that line was doing correctly, just really rubbed me the wrong way. So 2 things that are both pieces of advice and requests for the benefit of everybody. 1, watch your kids, because this little girl, on top of everything else, throw everything else out, she could have gotten seriously hurt here. It still ended up with a very large, noticeable bruise that basically went across the entire front of her throat. It could have been a lot worse. And beyond that, have some respect for the people who are around you by making sure that your kids are not interfering with the space of anybody else, or, affecting anybody else's ability to have a reasonably, good time. We're all waiting. We're all having, these thoughts about how we wish we didn't have to wait, and the kids are getting antsy. We get it. There's a line. And that's where the other part comes in. There's also a line where you have to realize when something is circumstances that were beyond your control and things that happen because you caused them to happen. This was avoidable, and it wasn't avoidable because there was something that should have been done on Disney's part. This was avoidable because you were not paying attention or adequate attention to your children and making sure that they were safe. Disney should not be responsible for that, nor any of their cast members, nor should you berate their cast members when something like this happens. The cast members are number 1 in creating the experiences that we have at those parks, and they deserve our respect. So that's me on my little soapbox. I'm going to get off now, and we will move on with our super fun episode about Disneyland Paris. But man, sometimes things like that just grind my gears. And what might really grind your gears sometimes is everything that has to go into planning your vacation. And of course, when something like this happens, it can ruin your vacation after you've done all that planning and you've put all of that hard work in. Well, there's a way that you can take some of that stress away. You can't take away all of the other parents and kids and everything like that who might be grinding your gears, but all of that work and all of that stress, you can make that go away by talking to my friends at We Do Travel Right. That's because We Do Travel Right will offer you that one-on-one service of an agent to make sure that you are getting everything that you need for your trip to be awesome, whether that's park tickets, that's reservations for resorts, dining, whatever. And the best part is they're doing all of this with you in mind and your budget in mind. And with the budget in mind, did you know that every time you use We Do Travel Right, it's free? That's right. You do not pay anything extra to use We Do Travel Right. That's because whether it's Disney or cruise lines or Universal or all-inclusives, they all build the use of an agent into their pricing. So you're paying for the agent whether you use one or not. So doesn't it just make sense to use the agent? So if you're ready to get your next magical vacation started today, head to wedotravelright.com/Maza. That's wedotravelright.com/MAZA, because life is short. So take the trip.
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand.
So long, partner.
See you real soon.
All right, now let's head into our super fun and super exciting episode about Disneyland Paris. Alrighty, I am back here with Eileen and Meghan again, and we are going to talk about the little trip inside a trip that we took this time to
Disneyland Paris.
Exactly. So, this was kind of sandwiched in the middle of our Paris trip. And so we decided that we were going to spend one day and try to hit both of the parks there. There's the main Disneyland Paris park, and then there is Disney Adventure World, which used to be Disney Studios, I think it was called, and it was kind of like their version of
Hollywood Studios.
Exactly, but they've been transitioning a bit more, and so there was a bit of construction and some things that they were working on expanding that park while we were there. We saw lots of cranes that were doing work. We'll get into that a little bit, but yeah, we had a great time. I think the one takeaway that we all had was we wish we had more time there. Maybe 2 days. 2 days probably would have been sufficient, but
2 days would have been enough to do everything that we had wanted, I think.
Yeah.
But then we would have had less time unless we had another day in Paris.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. For our trip, the way it was scheduled, we only had time for 1 day. Should we go back again in the future?
Yes.
If we should go back in the future, then I think we'd like 2 days at Disneyland Paris. I think we could do more days, but 2, I would say, would be the bare minimum to hit both parks sufficiently.
So,
especially because we did not buy their version of like Premier Pass or anything like that. So
yeah, so they do have similar to the Lightning Lane thing, and especially like the Lightning Lane, whatever they call it, Premier, whatever the thing is where you can get on every ride. They have something similar to that at Disneyland Paris, and we did do a couple of what would be the Lightning Lane
like the
single passes, which have a different name for them, which I can't come up with at the moment.
Euro passes?
No, not Euro passes.
But we could skip the line for just one ride.
Right. So we did a few of those for some of the...
and I'm sure we'll talk about it when we get to that point. I'm guessing you probably have pictures for that. But again, I think where this started was without the one where you can skip all the lines, we definitely would have loved at least one more day.
Right.
Yes.
So they call it Disney Premier Access. And so a single one, the prices range the same way that it would for
at Disney World, which is obviously where we're most familiar with.
Right. So we started out, we were staying in Paris, and we had to get to Disneyland Paris, which is about 40 minutes outside of Disney. Outside of Paris. Woof. And so we decided that we were going to take basically, it's like their commuter rail. It's called the RER. And the RER A, or RER A, is the line that we took from, really just a stone's throw from our hotel.
Yeah. And
it dropped us off right at the gates.
Yes, it was so close. Like the station was right at the gates, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's the end of the line too, so you really can't.
So you can't miss the stop. Yeah. There's that. Remember there was a picture of Mickey on that line too, like
Mickey.
It's called
Mickey.
Okay. I think it's called Marna La Valle or something like that.
But yes, there's literally a picture of the Mickey head too.
Yeah,
so
it's just
there's
like anybody,
no way you're missing.
Anybody going here is probably going for Mickey. So there it is. And we got on the Aubert our station, and
which was 5 minutes from our hotel.
Yep, it's right in that opera area, and just took it straight down and got to the park. And we had left. I'm trying to think of what time we left,
remember,
but it was.
We were there all day.
We were, but we were at the park for opening. They also at Disneyland Paris, much like most of the Disney parks, much like the Disney parks that I'm aware of, do have early hours for people staying on property. That was not us, but we were still there for regular rope drop.
What's rope drop?
When it opened. So,
right.
When we were there by the time the park opened.
So, yes.
And I think it opened at like 9 that day or something. So it was an easy.
Yeah, we were there right around when the park opened. So for the general public, and the I think that the biggest thing was the train was really convenient. So I would recommend that to anybody who is staying in Paris proper and wants to spend some time. And so
probably the opposite too. If you were staying in Disneyland Paris and wanted to go into Paris for a day, like again,
absolutely.
a really
probably
easy way
the
to
same
get
way.
in.
So we ended up at the the gates where the
I see Mickey Water Tower.
Yes, they did have. They still have the Earful Tower there. Yes, that's what they call it, the Earful Tower. There used to be one of those at Hollywood Studios.
An Earful Tower?
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it the Earful Tower because the ears are on top of the tower. Kind of like it's like the Eiffel Tower.
It's a water tower.
Yes, it's just a joke, hon. So yeah. So and when you first walk in, this was we actually went to Adventure World first.
That's Adventure World.
What do we do? We sort of kind of mapped it out that not even mapped it out. We knew we didn't really want to bounce back and forth, even though the entrances are right next to each other.
We didn't want to go to one part
Let's back up for a minute. When you first get there, when the first gate you go through is actually into like a courtyard area. You don't enter directly into one park. And off of that courtyard area are the two entrances to the park. And one of the things we really wanted to do first off, and why we chose Adventure World first, was because we wanted to go to World of Frozen, which had just recently opened. So that was kind of our thinking with that. And yes, you're right. We didn't want to bounce back and forth between the parks, but that was something that we figured was going to fill up pretty quickly because it's fairly new. And
I think our thinking was also, we originally kind of thought we would be, wanted to see the nighttime show at the Disneyland Paris, at like the traditional Disneyland park with the castle.
Right.
That didn't end up happening. We hung as long as we could, but we had to save the rest of the vacation.
Right.
But it was still great. So like, all right. So into Disney Adventure.
Wait.
So we would. So go ahead. Megan's got something to say.
If you're watching the slideshow, if you look closely in this picture, you can see two hidden Mickeys.
Oh, yep. I see one of them. I'm trying to find the other.
They're on the same thing.
Oh, yeah. There's one up here and one a little bit.
Okay, yep. Good observation.
Good observation. So, yes.
Did you notice that when you were there or just
Nope.
now?
Just now.
So when you first walk through the gates, they actually kind of funnel you through this area. It's called World Premiere, and there's a place there's a food vendor there, and we actually had lunch there. Mm-hmm. And there's also some shopping there. But basically, when you're coming in or out, they're just
you have to go buy the shopping.
You gotta go buy the shopping. It doesn't take you like right through the like you'll find with some rides. It's just like, okay, ride's over. Here's the gift shop. Yeah. But it's very intentional that's where you're being funneled through. And so we got through, and there are a lot of cool like little statues all over the place. Obviously, there's the Mickey, and in this place they've got the Sorcerer Mickey. And
hat.
Yes, they've got the Sorcerer Mickey hat, and Peter Pan and Wendy and Tinkerbell are flying around the hat. But we also found a lot of these little statues like around the park. Like by a bench, we found, was it Lady and the Tramp or was it?
I don't remember, but
there was one with puppies.
Kind of
Oh
like,
no, it was 101 Dalmatians.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
And then
it was by Mary Poppins.
Oh,
that's
we'll
right.
get to that. But it was also like there was another spot where Peter Pan was like perched on a wall, and so there were a bunch of
like
little,
what they put in for the 50th at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. But
so it kind of reminded me of like those kind of little statues.
But I mean, more of these were kind of like installed throughout the park, though. It felt much more natural as opposed to something
like
that was
on the hub or like put in like
right.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we actually, as we were walking, trying to figure out where we were going to go first, we were kind of heading in the direction of World of Frozen, but that's like in the back of the park. Trying to figure out
the map, trying to figure out where we were.
I mean, generally we knew we were heading towards the back of the park. But again, like not quite the way that Eileen was describing Charles de Gaulle Airport, in that it was disorienting because we weren't familiar with it, but there was an element of that where it's just like, okay, where exactly are we going here? And we actually
well,
end
good
up.
thing we found maps.
Yes, yeah.
We got one in French and one in English.
We sure did. And while we were walking, we ended up saying, "Oh, hey, there's Mary Poppins." And when we got up closer, the cast member said, "So the show isn't happening, but you can go meet them." Apparently, there's a show.
We were happy to just say hi, and Bert was there
yes.
too. So like,
sugar makes the red sing.
All right. So, and we so we got to meet kind of a more rare character who's not usually around the parks.
We've met Mary Poppins before, but we've never met Bert.
So we met cool. Mary Poppins and Bert, and so then we continued on, and we found the Tangled ride, which is, well, Meghan, do you want to?
It's kind of like the Tilt-A-Whirl, except you can't really.
Teacups.
It's like the
I meant
teacups.
the teacups. Not Tilt-A-Whirl. Why did I say
Tilt-A-Whirl spins as well, except this is flat.
But also teacups and Tilt-A-Whirl start with T.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like the teacups, except
you're in a boat and you can't really control how fast it goes.
I'm going to say no. You can control how fast it goes.
Oh yeah,
it operates
Mommy
very
was
much.
On that one.
Yeah, so we didn't spin it as fast because Mommy was on that one. But you can control how fast it goes. It's very much like the same kind of mechanism as the teacups. I really love this because I thought it was really beautiful.
I was going to say it was a beautiful ceiling.
I wish you had gotten a picture of like when
looking at it from below.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have more pictures of my own, but I only picked a sample here for everybody so that they could kind of get a feel for it all. But yes, for those who aren't watching the video, it is. For those who are not watching, who aren't seeing the slideshow, the lanterns that you'll see in that scene where everybody's releasing the lanterns are hanging from the ceiling. The ceiling is painted with these murals of different characters from the movie. And of course, that those purples and pinks and those bright colors are really a big part of Rapunzel. Done. And it was really, really well done. So I thought it was great how they took a ride that we've seen before in the teacups and did something unique with it that they really did a nice job with. Yes, Meghan.
And all around it, except for Rapunzel, which you can kind of see it. You can kind of see the boat, and her hair is going all around.
Yes.
Yeah, if you look at the ceiling, her hair
goes all around the ceiling. Yep, you're absolutely right. So yes, and you can, if you are watching the video, you can see that there is that turny wheel in the middle, so you can do it. But we did take it easy on Mommy. So
Meghan and Daddy love to spin.
Yes.
I don't. But I like the ride.
You can see my nail polish there. You can
yes,
see
you
my
can.
nail polish there.
Did you get your nails done before the trip? Was that?
We painted them.
Oh,
here.
we painted them. Okay. Sorry.
Hey!
Wow, I held on to the button. So sorry about that. So then we ended up. So this was actually brand new. We actually ended up getting to the area where they're doing the new cavalcade. Right.
A Princess Cavalcade.
Princess Cavalcade is a brand new cavalcade for that park. And I thought that was really great.
Yeah, we stumbled on it, so we didn't know, but it was like, there's people standing around. What's going on?
And then they made the announcement, and it was like, oh. So it had Moana. And what I thought was great is a lot of the cavalcades, it was just that we've seen in the past. It's just like one,
the float with the character.
Right. But this was kind of like a mix of cavalcade and parade. It was a little bit more than your
parade, but definitely more than because they had Moana had a bunch of dancers with her.
Yeah. So Moana, each float had dancers and such that I don't really recall that much with the standard cavalcade.
Not with the way they were done at Disney World.
No. So yes, there was Moana. There was also Rapunzel. Now and this was one that you don't see in the parks very much. Raya, which I think Raya is really underrated.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that soon.
But I think it's a really underrated Disney movie. And I don't think that I've got a picture in it here, but Tiana was also part of that. So it was dedicated to Disney princesses, and some that maybe are not as celebrated as some of the other ones.
Mickey!
And then, of course, we had to stop and meet Mickey. And when we got in this line, the posted time said 60 minutes, and I looked at that, and I was just like, "There's no way it's 60 minutes."
It was close to.
Believe it, it was 60 minutes. But Mickey was taking a good amount of time with each person,
Yes.
and
It was much more than just take a picture and go.
Right.
He interacted with everyone. He and Meghan had, he doesn't talk to us, but he definitely was conversing with us.
Like, it's not like it's not like in the parade when he's actually talking.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's all quiet.
But he kind of mimes what he's saying, and he.
And I really liked his outfit. His outfit at
Kind of
Adventure World.
Springtime Parisian. It was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So he had a nice
pinstripe
jacket, and he had this. I don't know. I don't want to call it a straw hat, and it's not really a fedora, but it's like a light summery kind of hat,
but not like a sombrero straw hat.
Right. Well,
it's kind of like a straw hat that's also kind of like a straw top hat, except lower than a top hat.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just a snappy kind of outfit.
It's always nice when we can meet Mickey wearing something new too.
Yep.
Why I say a short top hat is because it's got the green and pink and white strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And top hats usually have something like that.
Yeah.
Except top hats are more like a belt.
So then we did make our way. Now we had gotten
We got the single
Premier
pass
or whatever it's called.
What is it called? Frozen Ever After.
Yes. Because that was already at 60 minutes, and we knew that was going to get longer.
And that's Meghan really likes Frozen.
Yep.
Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead. I was going to say
I was
ask for Meghan's review of the ride.
I was just going to say before we get to the ride, why I brought up the 60 minutes thing was we were very close to the time
with Mickey. Yeah, and we're just we know at Disney World they'll give us a little grace period. But
right. The good thing though is one thing that we noted as well was that this is a very small park. They packed a lot into a small park, so we didn't really have to run across a park to get to make sure that we were there on time.
Can I ask you before the ride, do you talk about how beautiful the world of Frozen was after this picture? Or?
Yes, but that I'm just bringing the pictures of the ride first because we did the ride before we explored.
So I don't want to. Then I'll hold off on saying that. I just if you weren't going to say it.
So Meghan, do you have things to say about the ride itself?
Okay, I liked pretty much all of it, especially that Marshmallow didn't get up and roar like mist. But what I also didn't
kind of stick his
Well, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, this is Meghan's review.
In Disney World, in Disneyland Paris, he didn't. He just was playing in the snow with the snow geese.
Okay.
And he smiled. And when we went down the drop, my butt flew out of my seat and I got scared.
Because
that's the part I did not like.
There is a lap bar there, but it's one size lap bar fits all. So Chris was probably there. There's someone single ridered with us.
Yes.
Right. So were there individual seats there or was it a bench seat?
It was a bench.
It was a bench, yeah.
But they just were you're fitting 4 in the bench.
Yes.
Regardless.
Yeah, they had a single rider, so they put her
that's
with
totally.
us.
Sometimes they'll be single rider, go with a group of 1 or 2. It's the single lap bar, so one size fits all. So Chris was probably the biggest person in our row, so it was on his legs, which probably left a good few inches between the lap bar and Meghan's legs. And
is there a lap bar on the one in Walt Disney World?
I didn't think there was.
So that may have been an indication that the drop was going to be steeper.
The drop was definitely steeper. And that was kind of fun because it definitely felt steeper. I know it, like she was a little startled by it, but then of course we come out to Anna and Elsa together, and
it's also even steeper. It's not a big drop, and one of the things is now this has been updated at Walt Disney World too at this point, but this ride had actual like audio animatronic faces as opposed to what we had seen at Epcot previously, which was like the projector screen faces.
Okay.
So I thought that like the actual like look of the ride was a lot better.
I'm gonna just jump in and say it right now. I'm sure it will come up again. Almost, I think every ride that I went on that was duplicated was better at Disneyland Paris.
Yeah,
I
there's a similar
so
ride
like when
at
we
Disney
went
World.
on Frozen Ever After at Disney World, Disneyland Paris, and I mean, you all know we're Disney World people. We will continue to be Disney World people
for the rest of my life.
But some of those rides, maybe because they're newer too, they just
were a lot.
I loved it.
So then we stepped out and we did have some time to kind of explore the world of Frozen, which is I think it opened in March.
Yes,
so
it was very new.
It was very new, and I thought the attention to detail
Phenomenal.
here was awesome. You can see, if you're looking at the slideshow here, you can see the ice castle in the background there.
With the North Mountain.
With the North Mountain.
I remembered what the mountain was called.
And up at the top of the clock tower, like in Arendelle, you've got little figurines of Anna and Elsa on the clock. And there was actually another rare character that we got to meet. And if you
pick some blowouts.
That's right. If you listen to Megan's joke earlier,
did she do that joke?
She did that joke. And yeah, he was just there hanging out and talking with people. Oaken, yes, for those who are not looking at the video. Oaken, who, if you're not familiar with the name, but have seen the movie before, he's the one in the little shop that
is up on the mountain.
Where Anna first meets Kristoff.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of got a little cult following of his own. And so it was fun to have an interaction with a character that we don't normally have an interaction with. And so, yeah, he first asked Meghan if she had a joke. And of course, when you're on the spot like that, it's tough to come up with something.
Yeah,
so then,
like if I had a joke book, I could easily just pull it out and look and like find something.
And I was trying to think of like a reindeer joke or something, and I couldn't come up with anything on the spot either. So
what
then,
do you call a reindeer with no reins?
I don't know.
A deer.
All right. Well, that would have been good too. That would have been better than his joke. Anyway, but yeah. So and of course the Arendelle Castle again, just a lot of really
area. Great detail.
You could tell that they put a lot of work into it and a lot of thought into. And again, this is another one of those forced perspective kind of things that they're really good at. So this looks a lot bigger than it actually is. Yes, Megan.
So, like, if you're watching the slideshow, like on the wall that's protecting the castle from the moat. You can see that they tried to make it look like ice.
That's right, like on the tops. Yeah,
very cool.
One of those big good pieces of detail that they put in there. Yep.
They didn't do it for the castle, but they did it for this. I don't think they did it with the castle. Anyway.
I think they did it with the spires, the very top of the castle, but not the whole castle. So. Okay, so then we ended up at remember the Cars
ride
road trip that we did?
Yes.
So the Cars road trip, this was kind of a funny little thing that they did. This used to be their version of the backlot tour when it was much more like their Hollywood studios. And we didn't do the backlot tour. You haven't done the backlot tour ever, I don't think.
I don't think so.
But part of the backlot tour was they had Catastrophe Canyon, which was basically they showed you this entire thing of the special effects that they'd use in a movie. And so there was fire, and then there was a flood and all this kind of stuff. So basically, they took
And
those.
the cars were rocking except for ours.
Yeah, so our car was not rocking. But basically, they took that same concept and they applied it to, and they put a Cars overlay at it. So it was kind of, it felt kind of weird, like, okay, this doesn't really all fit together. I think eventually they're going to do something else with this. It was actually a bigger ride before. I did a little bit of reading on this afterwards.
Because I was going to say, I thought it did, because like the Cars stuff has its, like in Cars, like, there's some issues that happen. And
well, but this used to be part of something bigger, but they had to cut it off because they're doing the Lion King stuff. Okay. And when we were in line for this, we could actually see like the drop, like the skeleton,
Splash Mountain-esque drop,
right?
That's being
and then
built.
they're going to build the Pride Rock around it. But so we got to see the up and down for that. Yes, Megan, you had something to say.
That's when the flood is happening.
Yeah.
But like in Catastrophe Canyon, that's where like the Dinoco thing is.
Dinoco?
Yeah.
Dinoco thing is.
Yeah,
and
so we
Catastrophe Canyon, that's where it is. That's when the flood's happening, and you can see the the Dinoco truck.
Yep. Yeah, so it's very much the same. If you've been on that ride before, it's the same thing. And I remember while I was watching, I was just like, this feels really familiar. So then I went back later, did some research, and found that it was. But yeah, I mean, so you kind of like are on this little like it's kind of a train ride, truck ride, and they take you past some things, including after this, there's a thing that Mater is building. What did he build? Do you remember?
It's like an Eiffel Tower, except made of like stuff for cars.
It made of junk, yeah. So it was a fun little thing. I think that it's they did the best they could with what was available to them at the time. But then we went to one of the things that Megan. By the way, I'll say this, because we were doing these two parks in the same day. We had kind of said, okay, we can each pick two things that we really want to do. And we found a couple of other things to do along the way, but we all kind of like picked two things that we definitely wanted to do.
Some of our two things overlapped.
Right. And this was one of the ones that Megan wanted to do because, well, she's a big fan of the Slinky Dog Dash roller coaster at Hollywood Studios. And so she wanted to try out the Slinky Dog ride at Adventure World. And so, do you want to try to describe it a little bit, Megan? Or
like, it was more for little kids, but like, I like Slink Dog, and so like, it was kind of like the Tilt-A-Whirl in Maine, but I'm not sure how to describe it with that.
So it's not really like the Tilt-A-Whirl.
It doesn't tilt or whirl.
No, it's more like
it goes around the circle and it
goes up
and down, kind of like has dips. If anybody has, I mean, most carnivals and thing have a version of this. It is hard to describe, but around us, like they used to have,
it was the Music
Express,
or
but there have been different versions of it. But
it's like the Yeti one at Old Orchard Beach.
So if you've been to Old Orchard Beach and you've been on the pier, you probably have a good idea of what.
Except it doesn't go backwards, but it
the Slink Dog one does not go backwards. But yeah, it's a fun little ride.
Slink Dog's trying to chase his tail.
Yeah,
right.
That's what's going on.
And I will say, she said it's for little kids, but
I saw some like only grown-ups there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely something that like I did not feel silly going on.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like there's been some rides where it's like, oh, this is definitely like
this is for kids. But no, yeah, it was a tamer ride, but it was definitely a ride that would appeal to a lot of people.
And I think just really quickly, you mentioned the tamer ride. We did a lot of the tamer rides on this trip.
Yes.
Mostly because we were only there for a day. We wanted to hit as much as possible, which meant that we couldn't stand in line for 90 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
And we were only willing to buy so many of the passes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Megan.
In the background of this picture,
it's RC Racer.
The RC Racer.
Yep. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to tell you. Like the waiting thing, there are like linking logs.
Oh yeah,
You have to explain that because I don't know how to.
Oh, it was just like again, as with Toy Story Land and Disney doing their thing, they make sure the queues are engaging as well. So these queues were set up like old Lincoln logs, which we were trying to explain to Meghan how we used to play with Lincoln logs a lot as kids. So it was cool.
And like if you're like up closer near the front of the line, like there's like
the overhang.
Yep.
The ceiling above you.
Yep. It is a board game, a literal giant board game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. Again, Disney has that great, touch with
Was this the last thing we did at Adventure World?
It might have been. We also went and we also went and looked around the Adventures campus because I just wanted to take a look. Avengers campus, yes, excuse me.
Yeah, there were a couple things I wanted. There were definitely things I wanted to do, but we just
and we
got to the point where like it's 1:30 and we haven't even gone over to the other part,
and we hadn't eaten.
Yeah,
we needed to find some lunch too. Megan, do you have one more thing to say about this?
Not about this. I'm just asking a question. Was Thunder Mountain here or on the other one?
It was at the other one.
I'm sure there's a picture of that.
So of me looking.
All right.
So, but Megan mentioned the RC racer. Now that was kind of the more thrill ride for
Toy
Story. We didn't go on it, but it's like RC going up and down like the track like you'd find like in a kid's bedroom, and it's very much themed the way that you'd see Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios, just in a much more condensed
smaller
space.
area.
Yes.
Oh, another one that there was the Toy Soldiers drop.
Parachute drop.
That's right, the parachute drop. Yeah.
We didn't go on it because
it actually looked like something I think you would have found
think we could have
fun,
handled it.
Yeah, but it was a little high.
But basically it was a thing that like brought you up and then like it lowered you down, like you were parachuting down with the.
It didn't seem like it was like fast, like.
Yeah, and at first, when you're first looking at it, it goes in 4 directions, so it kind of gives the impression that it would spin, kind of like swings, but it doesn't spin. It brings you up and then you parachute down.
Still, it was high.
So then we went and found some lunch. I did, we talked offline about this a little bit, and I'm just going to say what our impressions were. And granted, we didn't do a great amount of research in advance on this, but we found it very hard to find food that for all of us inside the park.
There are some things that you would eat, but I wouldn't eat.
Well, and a lot of things we found there were stands. The quick service stands were mostly like cookies and ice cream, and some of them
ice cream bar.
We did get one of those,
and some of them might have had like one thing, like one food item, but a lot of them just didn't. It was mostly just like snack stands.
Whereas we're used to like several quick service restaurants at each park.
Right.
At Adventure World, I mean, there were other quick service, but it was definitely harder for us to find food. Now, I do think had we gone to the courtyard outside of the park, there were tons of food options.
There were more sit-down restaurants.
We just did not have time for that.
And some of those sit-down restaurants did have, you could do some takeaway, but again, we didn't have time for that kind of thing. So we ended up going back to that world premiere area, and there is a dining food court kind of thing. So there.
I think we got like chicken nuggets, burgers, fries that really tasted like I was just like, oh, we're having McDonald's fries in Paris.
And so one thing with their quick service, and there may have been some mobile ordering available, but we didn't really look into that kind of stuff. It's all kiosk based. You go up to the kiosk and select what you're going to have. And I do wish that some of the things had a little bit more information about what the food actually was. But it's very much you punch in what you're going to get. It spits out a ticket, and then it tells you what window to go to. And the windows have screens that show what orders are still pending and what orders are ready. So the second part of it is actually pretty good, because then once your thing lights up, you know that it's yours.
It's easy as opposed to listening for them calling out numbers. And,
so yeah. And
Megan's bored with talking about food, but
like you're actually like punching the
no,
screen,
we're not punching the screen.
And the ticket spits out at you.
No, there was a little bit of frustration with that. So yeah, but there was no actual screen punching. So we went over, and when you're going to the actual like the Disneyland Paris park, you actually walk through like the Disneyland Hotel, Disneyland Paris Hotel, which is beautiful. And it has this great clock at the top of it with
you look
classic
really
Mickey.
closely,
and out front is like the
Mickey.
Mickey Flower Garden, much like you would see.
And they, walking through, they've got this great, it's just
like a ground mirror mosaic.
Yeah, something like that. But basically
really,
the walkway has the castle and everything
carved,
like that, and it's Sleeping Beauty's castle, which was really like. I love that castle. I love some of the details that they have with it, and it's got some unique features that you don't see some of the other ones. And we got there just in time for their cavalcade, which was I don't really know what to call the theming of that. But
it was Mickey and Friends.
It was very hip.
It was Mickey and Friends.
Like Mickey's got quite the outfit on. He's got like red and green and blue, but it's like like a cool jacket.
But like also the float looks like that bucket has candy in it. But both those are like inventions.
It looks
I'm not sure how to describe it.
Well, I mean, a lot of that looks like movie stuff. But
I feel like it has something to do with like invention.
Not a big deal. Either way, we got there in time for that, and we saw that. And there's some of the more classic characters, like Snow White was there. We also saw like some newer characters, like Joy from Inside Out.
Oh, we also saw Miguel, and he was
Miguel. Yep. Miguel from Coco.
He was pretending to play the guitar.
Yep. So yeah, there were some. It was a fun little cavalcade. Again, it's not as big of a park, so basically it goes up Main Street and then goes around like their hub and then back down Main Street, as opposed to like the parades at
Disney.
At Magic Kingdom, which like will start in Fantasyland, right?
Yeah, and then
yes. I'm sorry, you look stuff up, and
yeah, he doesn't do it for the whole time.
I was trying to find out the name.
Okay, well either.
Okay.
So then we ended up making our way to
Hyperspace Mountain.
Well,
Land.
we didn't go to Hyperspace Mountain.
Land.
It's not called Hyperspace Mountain Land. Their version of Tomorrowland is called Discoveryland.
Oh yeah.
And we went on what was basically their version of the Astro Orbiter, which was the longest wait we had of the day, and it was awful. Like this,
no reason for it. People couldn't buckle their seatbelts, and that
was like pay attention. Like even if you didn't know how the buckle buckled, and you just watched the people who were getting on the ride before you, it should have clued you in on the fact that that's how you do it.
So basically, the issue it was a one buckle for both people, and we must have seen like
1,000 people do it.
Well, that's an exaggeration, but yes. Almost every ride, we watched at least one car or one rocket try to single buckle and leave another person unbuckled.
And then when the cast members went around to check, they were physically having to fix these for these people. Now, and none of them seemed to be in very much of a hurry either.
That is correct.
I don't know if it's a European thing or what, but they were not in much of a hurry to get this ride moving any faster. So, and that was a queue that did not have any shade. So.
Yeah. But by the time we were invested enough that it was just like,
Right.
we're not leaving this queue. By the time we realized it was taking forever, we're like, we're not leaving.
Yeah. I really did love the aesthetic of the Discoveryland area. You know, the whole Jules Verne and really heavy Jules Verne influences. Their Space Mountain is really cool. It's got the cannon on the outside
if you look closely, you can see it's going up in that picture.
Oh yes, yep. You can see the cars going up.
Yeah,
so for those who haven't seen Space Mountain, like in Disney World or Disneyland, it's enclosed. It all happens inside the mountain. With Disneyland Paris, the ride actually. So it's based off of Jules Verne's story From the Earth to the Moon, and with that, the astronauts, for lack of a better word, were shot off in a cannon to the moon. So with the ride starts you off shooting you out of a cannon. So you actually go up the outside of Space Mountain there
before then
going down inside. Now, we did not experience this. I don't think Meghan was quite tall enough.
And you're never going to do it.
Well, yeah.
We had said if there was something that like Meghan and I went and did, because yes, she would have been like,
it would have been close.
It would have been real close. So we didn't, we did not do that one, but we were kind of like, oh, if there was something Meghan and I found that would.
And right now it has the Hyperspace Mountain, so it's a Star Wars overlay inside.
And truthfully, if this is something, if we had been there 2 dads, you would have done it for sure. But we
time
we
constraints,
had a very limited time, and wanted to maximize it.
So we but still very cool to see, and we were able to see the.
You were shooting out of the can.
Yeah, we were able to see that quite a bit. So, this was the rockets that we were in. So we finally did get in the rockets eventually. It was a fun little ride.
I went up as high as our rocket.
You got a good view of Discoveryland from there, and so then we, yes, Meghan, you have something.
I made ours go as high as it could ever go.
Yes.
Daddy's couldn't catch up to us.
Yeah, mine couldn't get quite as high for whatever reason. Then we went to the hub, took some pictures in front of the castle. I don't even know if they call it the hub, but
it's their version of the hub.
But I love that castle. Like it's so unique. There's so many little nooks and crannies to it, and you go around the back there. There are these unique staircases. Like there's this one staircase that is like out of place. It's like this plain wooden staircase that goes up, and it's
supposed to be there. It's not like
exactly. So it's these little details. It's pretty cool.
And
there's like kind of like jeweled coins on it, except giant jeweled coins.
One thing I was a little worried about, because I had read, was that there's some construction going on by it now. I feel like we still got to really enjoy the castle, despite the walls being up. It wasn't like high walls. It was, especially like where we were viewing it from. It was fine.
Yeah. So then we went over to Big Thunder Mountain.
And this was the other ride that we bought the
Fast Pass.
The Fast Pass for. And Meghan, do you want to give your review?
I think it was better, except to the fact that it went under the water. Underwater was fine, except the fact that it was pitch black.
So can you explain why you had to go under the water?
The real ride was an island in the middle of a lake. The ride was an island in the middle of the lake, and
you had to get to it.
Yeah. And you had to go under the water. I expected when Mama told me that we were going to go under the water, I didn't expect it to be like we're going under the water pitch black.
And I would agree with that.
I thought it would be like, oh, there's going to be like a lantern over there, a few.
Yeah, it's completely dark.
And then you end in the pitch black as you're heading back across the lake.
I just expected a few lanterns to be in there, even like just one or two, fine.
No,
but like not pitch black, not pitch black.
And I'm riding with Megan, and we had again prepped her that we were gonna go under the lake, and
I was like.
And I'm just like, you know, because I'm her roller coaster buddy, and I know that as much as she says she hates Big Thunder Mountain, she really doesn't.
I did,
but I've ridden it with her enough to know that she's not going to say no when we say let's go. But
I'm just going to say maybe as long as I get to sit with Mama.
Okay, but it was definitely again in that little bit at the beginning and end, like the underground. Was kind of I'm like, ooh. This is definitely, and we have not been on it since they've refurbed it at Disney World. So I'm excited to go back in February and do that.
I really hope that they don't turn it into an island.
It's not an island. They didn't do that.
But it is one of those things that when we got in the pitch black, I'm just like, oh no, she's gonna be freaking out. But she was okay, and then
I was fine. Like, except I was like, I'm scared. I'm going to collect you until we're out of the pitch black.
Okay. So a couple of things that are also unique about this is you get wet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a section where you kind of like go down like almost to water level, and it splashes water up, and so that was fun.
Except it's on the other side.
Well, yes, not on this picture.
Just a
yes.
picture.
And there was also before you're getting up, you're doing the final climb, and you're in the cave. They've got projections that are showing like the fuses for the dynamite and stuff like start going up along the walls, and there's dynamite at the end. So right before you go out into that
I don't know
final,
if I noticed that. Probably because she was freaking out.
It was
Not
pretty
freaking out, but
cool.
she's like, "Is this the big drop? Is this the big drop?"
So Meghan was victorious. You know,
No, I was like,
yes, she was victorious, and it was
terrified.
fun. And
delete that.
And this is Meghan having fun for those who are watching the slideshow, but this is Meghan having fun on the roller coaster.
I definitely told Chris that I have to get like a GoPro and record her sometime because she always gets off these roller coasters and is like, I hated that. But
my legs are always shaky.
But I watched her and she's like happy the whole time. So
except like on Slink Dogs, the only
So sorry, except for Slink Dog, what?
My legs are always shaky, except for Slink Dog. I want to get out of that picture.
So then we did Phantom Manor, which is their version of the Haunted Mansion. And I will say it's creepier.
Creepy.
It's a different kind of storyline. There are some similar elements within the ride.
Is it like the dancing ghosts?
They had some dancing
ghosts, right? but their whole thing is this is also set. It's right next to Big Thunder, and it's kind of set like the mansion is part of this town, this mining town that Big Thunder is part of. So some of the ghosts are actually like cowboys as opposed to like in the singing in the graveyard. But they definitely had they play up. They don't actually have the Hatbox Ghost animatronic there.
What's Hatbox Ghost?
It's too long to explain.
Is it like the evil ghost?
Yeah. So, but they basically the silhouette, like the Phantom in this primarily is designed after the Hatbox Ghost, and you know a lot of the story revolves around this bride. So. You know, it's very much creepier than the Disney World version. That's for sure.
But I'm glad we did it.
They this was closed when we were there, but you could still go see it and everything like that. They had a full pirate ship,
and the pirate ship was closed, but all the caves around it were open.
Yeah, so you could do some exploring in some caves.
Yeah,
Skull Rock was there.
Yeah, so it's very cool. Like there are more things beyond just the rides. Like this is one of those things you could just go and explore.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
kind
cool.
of play type areas for the kids.
And then Eileen and Megan and I did the teacups. Eileen let us go and do our own thing with the teacups. So we spin them.
I really would have gone on it, but I went and got a pretzel instead.
Yeah. So yes, we did the teacups, which are very much like you'd see the standard teacup ride, and we did the carousel, which was is Camelot themed, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Camelot.
And then we went into Sleeping
We did
Beauty.
Small World before this, didn't we?
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to include the pictures of.
And that's fine, but again, a
Small
very
World.
similar ride, but I felt like
I liked it
more
better.
colorful.
Yeah, it felt
It
more
also
vibrant.
went outside.
Yeah, it
That's
did
true,
start
yeah.
outside and end
Yeah.
outside.
I'm not sure. I think the Disneyland one might also do some outside like that.
But it's the same premise.
But yeah,
I just
it felt more vibrant. It felt more. It honestly
and
felt
it
a
could
little
be
more
because
fun.
it's newer.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Also,
More
it felt a bit longer.
Oh, we also you don't have it there, but we did Pirates, which I also
That's right.
thought.
Wow.
I
You
liked
might
it
not
better.
take pictures of every ride. It's
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. Yeah. So
I liked it better.
The Pirates.
Yeah, it wasn't one big drop. It was two smaller drops that were together they equaled the one big drop.
and again, this was a ride that had elements of the American ride, especially at Walt Disney World,
Yeah.
but there were also some unique elements. There were some the ride was longer. First of all, second of all, it had a little bit different of a storyline, and there were a few different animatronics and such that had different effects. So there were some newer things with that. So.
Yeah. Sorry for bringing
No,
those
that's-
up, but
that's
especially
great,
because I
'cause-
had said earlier, a lot of the rides that we've done at both places,
Yeah.
I've liked better here. So those were two again that we've done.
Yay, we're kind of doing compare and contrast. I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So then we did explore Sleeping
We could go
Beauty's
in the
castle.
castle.
Yeah.
I wish I took pictures of the stained glass windows.
Well,
We
there
might have
were
left your
a lot
camera
of
behind that thing.
yeah, we might have.
I don't remember for
It
sure, but
probably a good idea we did, but there were a lot of really great stained glass windows. You can kind of see here. There's some great architecture in there too.
If you look on
some
the bottom
mosaics.
floor,
is that what you were going to talk about, the wall back there?
yeah, they put they painted the wall there, and it's got Maleficent on one side, the fairies on another side, and in the middle, Sleeping Beauty and the prince. I forget his name. Prince
And-
Hans of the Southern Isles, maybe. No.
But they also had
Oh.
they had these tapestries all around too, and they also had the storybooks that were
Yeah, it
open
was
to
really
different
cool.
parts of the story, so you could kind of follow along as you were going. And underneath the castle, you can go see the dragon.
I didn't,
There's the
even though I
dragons,
like dragons, I did not like it. I did not like the red
But
eye
I think
or how
you
it
thought it was going to be
surprised
scarier
me.
than it was.
I thought it was going to be longer, like there was going to be that dragon, and then there was going to be another dragon that was pretty much doing the same thing, and then another dragon, and then another dragon.
So you expected more scary.
Yeah, I expected more of it. I didn't like the red eye and how it woke up and surprised me.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a cool feature that this one has. So
And I also thought there was going to be real fire.
now I don't recall. We did we have dinner after?
Yeah.
We had dinner after we went to the castle, correct?
Yes.
I believe so.
And then we did this.
And the
I had
dinner
a Baby Yoda
again was
macaron.
yes, yeah. The dinner was again. We did a quick service and similar kind of thing. I think we got chicken sandwiches this time instead of burgers.
Except
but
I got
the
chicken
basically
nuggets
the
again.
same. Yeah, basically the same kind of thing. And then, as we were getting ready to leave, there was one thing that Eileen basically said, "Okay, let's go do it," because it was something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah, and it wasn't a wait. It was
it was basically a walkthrough of
an old submarine.
yes, but it's the submarine called the Nautilus, which was from a book called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and way back in the day, Disney made that book into a movie. So I had read the book when I was a kid with Meme and Auntie Beth. And then we rented the movie and we watched the movie. And so for me, going in here and seeing this, it really felt like this was one of those kind of like I felt like a little kid again kind of moments because I was in this life-size version of this thing that I had read about and I had seen, seen a movie of, and there was a Nautilus ride at Walt Disney World when I went there as a kid. The ride isn't there anymore. So getting to do something like that again was pretty cool for me. Yes, Megan.
There's like dolphins too.
I knew
That's
she was
right.
Talk about the dolphins.
Yeah, they did the iris that they opened up to show, and that was something that was in the book. The window could open up and show what was outside, and so you could study different animals and stuff like that. So when the iris opened for us, it was dolphins. Yep, and so that was cool.
I wonder if there would be different animals. You can hardly see the castle in that.
Well, we'll get to So
we were. Then it was like, okay. After dinner, we kind of were like, okay, it's time to go. Like, Meghan was done. We had been there. We had hoped to stay for the nighttime show, and it just kind of became clear that if we wanted to be able to enjoy the rest of our trip, and we had to be up pretty early the next day because that's when we were going up the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
They were like, we're gonna sacrifice the nighttime show for a normal bedtime. But as we were heading out, one of the things I had wanted to do there was get champagne on Main Street. And we hadn't gotten it prior, and because we were just busy, and I'm like, I'm not going to stop us for that. But, we had to shop after we did the Nautilus. Yeah. So we had to shop because we had told Meghan we would buy her a Mickey, and she had some money that she wanted to spend too. So we were. I got
a little shoulder buddy.
Yes, your shoulder buddy was
Pascal.
So I was just like, okay, I'm getting the champagne now, and so we did get flutes, the champagne flutes with the castle on it.
One of them broke.
But I think we saved it.
It's put back together now.
Really?
Oh, thank God for super glue.
But yeah. Well, next time leave your stuffies where they are, and no, it's not your fault.
It's not you. No, when we put it in the bag when we were moving from one place to another, we had kind of like packed Megan's stuffies around it. So
then she took the
stuffies out and everything shifted. So, but not your fault at all.
Because I wanted to play with them.
I know it's not your fault.
I was getting bored. So
okay. Megan, it was a joke.
It was just a joke.
I was being silly too.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, yes, we got our champagne on Main Street, and neither of us are big champagne drinkers.
No.
But it was kind of one of those, you can't do that at Walt Disney World. And it was just like, we're going to do this. So,
whoa.
Yeah. And their Main Street, and this one, that castle is just so aesthetically pleasing. And their Main Street is very much like the standard Main Street, but there's just something about that castle and the way it looked that night. And it was a great day. And like as the sun started going down, it was just such a great look.
There was a little bit of like some spitting going on earlier
when we first got there. When we first arrived,
but it was great.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, and then we started to make our way back. We said goodbye to Disneyland Paris,
and then I said, I still have money. Can I buy something?
Oh, yes. Well, she's talking about the Pascal shoulder buddy. We were in there shopping. We had kind of bought our stuff, and then she's like, I really want something. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me this before?
Yeah. So then we ended up going back.
Yep.
And then we eventually, once we got out of the park, we headed back towards the train, which I'm not sure if it's always this way, but basically you had to walk outside and kind of walk all the way around. We were kind of just like following the crowd, honestly, with this.
And at that point, I was like, we're all tired. I just want to get to the train.
So, yes, we got all the way to the train. And, well, Meghan was toast.
Exhausted. Hey,
We-
how'd
and we
you
took
find
the-
that picture?
and we
Oh,
took the-
there's my Mickey.
Yes,
Yeah.
her Disneyland,
Disneyland
Mickey.
Paris Mickey.
His name is
Paris
Paris, Mickey,
Mickey.
not Disneyland
Yeah,
Paris.
and that was a
Mickey.
little harder to find. We wanted she wanted too something that was more unique to
Yes,
Paris.
there was a lot of. I don't know if if that's the theme for it, but there was a lot of
Like
sorcerer
Sorcerer
Mickey.
and
Yeah.
she was gonna buy one of those, and then we saw one that had a
You
T-shirt,
saw
and he was behind the counter. So
Right.
it was one of those things that, like, if you spend so much, you get it for this. And well, we just got it because it was like, this is
Yeah.
what she was looking for, and it said Paris on it, and so that was fun.
So yeah, and then there is the 40-minute train ride back, and then for us.
And I do think it was a smart play that we did not stay for the nighttime show, because on top of it, that train probably at the end of the night would have been
So
the fact
full.
that Meghan had a seat. The fact that Meghan had a seat where she could kind of crash and fall asleep was important.
Yeah. Yep. So that was our Disneyland Paris day. Like we said, probably could have used 2 days.
Oh.
I think 2 days probably would have done it for the most part. But one day, I feel like there was some stuff we left on the table. I feel like we got a good feel for both of the parks.
Yes.
But we could have definitely spent more time at both.
Well, and there's like some restaurant, like we didn't do any sit down dining, and I do know that maybe not at the parks, but there is some like character dining at at the hotels or at different places, and we're big fans of character dining.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Megan.
I just noticed in that picture, you can kind of see Pascal. Like, there's a tint of green by my mouth. That's
Yes.
Pascal.
Yeah.
He's sitting on my shoulder.
I think you were kind of using him as a
Pillow.
As a
at
pillow.
that point. Yes.
Yeah, you like put it, there's a metal pad that you put on your shoulder, and then you put your sleeve on top of it, and then you put the shoulder buddy on your sleeve, and then it's on your shoulder.
Yes, for those who aren't familiar, these are these little toys that it looks like the character is sitting on your shoulder. So Megan got a Pascal one, which is Rapunzel's little chameleon friend from Tangled. But I've seen them for Chip and Dale
Seen them
and
for so much,
Groot
and
and
apparently
Baby Groot.
now we've entered the world of shoulder buddies.
Yeah. So, but hey,
And then
You know-
I have one.
I know.
I'm going to just walk into school with him on my shoulder and then leave him in my backpack for the rest of the school day.
Not tomorrow.
Why?
we
We'll
can
talk.
talk about that off air. All right. So, anything else? Anything quick that anybody has to say about Disneyland Paris before we sign off?
I love it, and we're going again soon.
We're-
I mean, in 5 years.
We're going again
That's
soon.
Megan's plan.
In 5 years, I mean.
I loved it. I thought it was a great time. I think, again, with everything, especially with everything Paris, could have used more time.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you're like, just do it.
Yes, Megan.
Okay, so one of the things I want to do when we go again in 5 years is the Buzz Lightyear laser blast. We put that on our wish list, but we didn't do it because
I think the wait was
forget.
too long.
The wait was pretty long. Yeah.
And we went to another ride. I think it was the thing like the rockets. I think it was the rockets.
I think yeah. I don't remember for sure, but Buzz was over in that area.
It was like a space themed area.
Yes, that was in the Discoveryland area.
Yeah.
And I would say my closing thought is that this park, they put a lot of thought into the beauty of it, especially the main park. There's a lot of attention to detail, not only in the park itself, but all of the rides as well. And so even if you think you've seen a Disney park before, this one sets itself apart a little bit. And I think that has a lot to do with, the European
European culture.
Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, you feel European culture there, definitely.
Alrighty, so now is when we're going to sign off. Megan, if you have one more quick thing to say that is relevant, go for it right now.
Okay, it's not quick. I am weird, so I'm just not going to say it.
You can go ahead and say it. If
I forget what I'm going to say because
Okay.
I said that I
We're
am
just
weird.
gonna
All right, so we'll say goodnight then.
have a great night. Thanks for listening.
Good night, good night, good night.
Good night. Well, thanks for joining me on this episode, and thanks again for Megan and Eileen for sharing their thoughts and experiences and impressions about what is really, really a beautiful park, and I really wish that we had more time to spend there. And maybe someday we'll go back and we'll have to have more adventures and see even more, especially because that park looks like is in the middle of some exciting changes. So if you have not been, I would encourage you that you go. You talk to my friends at We Do Travel Right, and they can help you get there. And hopefully by then, some of this other stuff for Adventure World, like the Lion King section and everything like that, will be up and running as well. In the meantime, after We Do Travel Right has helped you with your vacation, well, you can help me out with this podcast by letting your friends know that you're listening to a great podcast, because word of mouth is the best way to help podcasts like mine, these indie podcasts, grow. And you can also help by going to your favorite podcatcher and leaving a rating and a review. And the ratings and reviews help connect us with more and more people. So if you're looking for connectivity, you can join us at the Musin Place, which is the Mazas Musings podcast Facebook page. You can also connect with us on the regular Facebook page. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Mazas Musings Pod. You can find us on TikTok at Mazas Musings Podcast. Mazas Musings Podcast. Whew. You can also find us on Blue Sky, and there's the YouTube page that I would love it if you would subscribe to. We have a few extra subscribers every week, and it's a lot of fun to see that aspect of the community growing as well. If you want to know more about me, about where you can find the social media or find past episodes or anything more about this podcast, you can go to the website, which is mazasmusings.wordpress.com. And while you're there, you can find out how to subscribe to the newsletter, which, as I've said, I'm looking to get back up and running this fall. And so you sign up now, and then come the fall, we will start churning out once a week cool information about the podcast and other cool stuff that we find. And while you're there, you can also find out how to buy us a blue milk. And buying us blue milk is just a small, obligation-free way to help with some of the small monetary costs that go into putting this podcast together. And whether you are listening for the first time, buying us a blue milk, or anything in between, I appreciate all the support. I hope you have a great weekend and a great week. For the Mazas Musings podcast is brought to you by Hi Dad Soup. Check them out at Mickey and Minutes on Instagram.